Raise your hand, but if we could start out, Coach, can you make a general comment about the game, and then we'll open it up to questions?
Well, first of all, very proud of the young people that I coach. It's a great senior class. I'm just proud of, to be able to make history in the city of Cleveland, to break 3 out of 4 years of state title is huge. Knowing how focused they need to be. So I'm proud of them for that. As far as the game goes, they did what they've been taught. Football is football. It's not you can't be cute in football. You got to run the rock. You got to play hard-nosed defense and be excellent on special teams. I'm just proud of the kids for that.
Okay, questions?
Coach again, Senior Keno Sultan, Stark County Prep Press. Congratulations on the state championship. For the third time in 4 years, your team has rolled the dice and hit the jackpot with another title, 3 in 4 years. What is it about the last 4 years that has defined Glenville as a dynasty at the height of their dominance?
Well, I think, it's all about the belief, what I'm saying? It's all about having trust with the kids. And, this group of kids have been in the program ever since they were 7, 8 years old. So all these kids here, I've been knowing them since they was in diapers, and I coached their fathers and stuff like that. So for them to come out and the example was already set before they got here, and for them to finish out and believe and have the intent to be the example of hope for other kids that's looking at them, and just be the example for our city and the public schools. I'm huge on that. I love Cleveland, so they understand that they have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's really huge for me.
Matt Cool, Cleveland.com. Coach again, we've talked ad nauseum about the handshake between the older guys and the younger guys. And I see a lot of faces up here. I remember making plays as sophomores 2 years ago. We saw some sophomores making plays today. On this day, what do you make of that handshake between the older kids and the younger guys who are coming up?
Yeah, well, like I said before, the older guys, these are the older guys now. Their job is to be the example for the younger guys. We try to be the example so that they don't fail. The brotherhood is real. It's true. We expect them to follow the lead of the older guys. So I'm looking forward to that. We got a great freshman class and a great junior class. They all bring together. You know what I'm saying? Then we got some 8th graders coming in. Just hope we can just keep it going to be the example for our community and our school board and our city.
Tony Bogenke on sports.com. CJ, you were part of a dominant run game tonight. You scored a couple touchdowns, and Sincere, you were part of a great defensive effort. If either of you guys could just talk about what is it that makes the offense and the defense tick?
When we just have a game plan, we go about it the right way. We're carrying out everybody doing their 1 to 11 correct. Every day in practice, our coaches, they gave us a game plan, and we came out and we executed at the highest level. This was our last game, so it was more so of an emotional game, and that's what I feel like really took over for me. I was playing with a lot of emotion tonight, and I came out and I'm playing on I was hurt. People probably didn't know I dislocated my toe last week. So I came out and I played this full game with a dislocated toe, and that's just what I had to do for the team. And so, my offensive line, they did good on the run game, and everybody executed well.
On the defensive side, our coach put together a great, defensive plan. obviously, number 2, he was he led his team all the way here, undefeated, Mr. Ohio finalist. And we just knew that we had to stop him. He was their playmaker, and that's what we did all night. We put pressure in his face. Everybody communicated. Everybody did their job, like CJ said. And, we just tried to play for God. The seniors up here dedicated this game to God and to G and to ourselves, because we knew this is our last one, and how do we want to leave our legacy? So the offense came out dominant. CJ, scored 2-3 touchdowns, and defense came out, and supposedly it was like we gave up the least amount of yards or something in the state championship game, but we wasn't worried about that coming to the game. We were just worried about putting our heads down and doing our job and doing what we need to do, and the results are going to show for itself.
Gene Simmons, OHSAA First of all, Ted and all of you, congratulations. 3rd title. It means a lot. Like I said, whenever I can sit in front of you guys, especially you, Ted, you make me better, okay? And you made your community proud and make your community better. Tell us a little bit about where's Romel at? He ran for 138 yards, and then you didn't put him in the end zone. Where is that guy at?
Well, he's in the locker room.
So we want to talk to him, but great job. Offensively, you knew what show he had to bring. DeVito was a runner-up. Mr. Ohio, tell us, was that the game plan, just to bracket him all night and just work off of that?
No. The game plan was to do our job. Obviously, if everybody come out and do our job, we're going to stop him. Obviously, he's a Mr. Ohio finalist, but I was too. And that's kind of was our mindset. Like, yeah, we understand that the yards and the this and that and the record, but, we always said take them to somewhere they've never been before. And that's a great team, but they haven't faced a Glenville defense with the speed, size, and somebody in the middle like myself and people like, other people like in the front, JJ, CJ on the back end, and then DeVito got to go out there and guard, our Paulie on defense. They have never did something like that. So our game plan was not to bracket nobody or anything. Just come out, do your job, be fast, be physical, communicate, and we'll lead state champions.
Good job.
Richard Zoom, Scout, Fox News. Ted, you haven't felt well, and you still don't feel well, and you gutted it out today with you and your players. All of Cleveland is rejoicing in the surrounding areas. Great job, Hall of Famer.
Thanks, man.
Any more questions?
Jameer, I want to ask you about the run game, but also I noticed early on, Marquise was at center and you were moved in at guard. Is that something you guys have done much? Because I haven't noticed that before. I want to ask you about that in the run game.
Yeah, that's something that we've been working on pretty much all year. I had an ankle injury since week 1, and that kind of pinned me down playing more on offense. And so, it was just a sacrifice that, everybody made. And then with the run game, we just had to be dominant. We just started up front, and everything started in the trenches. We might not get much love, but we did our job and we see the result.
Coach Ginn Sr., 15 weeks ago, you told me that God has a plan for all of us, had a plan for me, and I felt that plan coming to fruition today. I wanted to thank you for that life lesson that you taught me. With that said, how would you apply that life lesson today that God's decree has been ordained in the form of a 3rd title in 4 years?
Oh, that's easy for me. That's all I preach to the kids. We talk about giving God the glory. And it wasn't going to be easy this year. They can tell you at the beginning of the year, He put these obstacles in front of you. You know what I'm saying? You got to get through it. And just like they already know today is that they believed the whole time. We had one of the toughest schedules in high school football. And at the beginning of the year, we won the big game. But soon after, here come the test, and today sealed the deal because, and I tell the kids in the spiritual realm, you understand, in the academic realm, they teach you the lesson and then they give you a test. But in the spiritual realm, they give you the test and you learn your lesson. So today, we passed the test, you understand, for 16 weeks. So that's just how it go.
All right, we good here? Thanks, congratulations.
Thank you.